Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a book haul. I usually do my monthly book haul in conjunction with my journal update for the month, but because of where this month kind of sits with where it ends and where it begins, like weekdays, and where I have my videos planned, I'm gonna do them separately this month. I also have quite a few books to get through, so I don't want this to be like exceedingly long. I really need to get a control of the amount of books I'm buying because it's getting a little out of hand, but yeah. We're gonna go through the books that I purchased. So let me know, before we start, what books you purchased in May. It was a big book release month. So did you get any of those releases? Did you get other books that maybe you just bought on impulse like me? Because honestly, we have so many books here, it's concerning. I need to get a handle on this. But at the same time, oh well, could be worse. So let me know what your favorite book that you purchased in the month of May was, whether you read it or not. So maybe if you've read one, let me know which one you bought that's your favorite that you read and which one you're looking the most forward to reading that you haven't. Because, you know, I'll just continue adding to my piles. So I'm just gonna kind of go through these in no particular order based on like just what's sitting in front of me. But first I just grabbed the two off the shelf that I've already read. The first is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. This is the fifth and final book in the Windy City series. This follows Rio and Hallie. I adored this book. This was a 5-star read. Highly recommend the whole series. It's a great sports romance series if that's your cup of tea. There's just a bunch of different tropes. It's a found family. I just love it. Liz Tomford can write a man. My top 2 book boyfriends are both from her, and they're both from this series. This being number 1, and Ryan Shea from the second book, The Right Move, is number 2. So, highly recommend. This one is a hockey romance with a childhood friends to lovers to enemies to lovers. Loved this book. Cannot wait to see what she does in her next series. Another book I've also read that is also a 5-star was Cursed Fates. This is the 5th book in the Zodiac Academy. This is actually the only 5-star read I've had in that series so far, and I only have 1 book left, so we'll see if the final book is going to be a 5-star, but these books are massive. They are bricks. I've been reading them on Kindle Unlimited and then purchasing them as they're republished in their new formats. So one did come out this month. I picked this up. Zodiac Academy follows 2 twin sisters that were raised in the human world and technically are heirs to the throne of Solaria, which is a fake kingdom, and are brought back into this kingdom when they turn 18 to go to this academy to learn magic to be able to reclaim their throne. And there are 4 heirs to the throne that have been kind of planning to take over their entire lives because no one knew that the girls were still alive. And there's a little bit of a bully romance in the first few books, and then it all takes off from there. There's like one big bad throughout the entire series that you're dealing with, but the whole point is them proving to themselves and to the rest of Solaria that they are fit for the throne and that they have what it takes to lead. So really enjoying the series. Again, 1 book left, so I'm hoping it closes out strong and that book is also a 5-star, but we will see. Another book that I have to repurchase because this is my sister's copy is Chloe Liese's Only When It's Us, which is the first book of the Bergman Brothers series. And I don't know too much about this one in particular. There are 7 books in this series. We've met Chloe a few times. She's a local author to me. And we met her again this month, which I'll get to in a bit. And my sister had this book. I purchased this book, but then my sister got it signed when we met her for the first time, and I didn't realize she got it actually personalized. So I bought the second book when we just saw her again this time, and now I have to purchase the first book for myself so that I can have her sign that when we go see her in September. Not to my sister. So all of Chloe's books have disability rep in some sort. It's usually a neurodivergent person. So it looks like in this one, there's the main character, Ryder, has a hearing deficiency, and Willa is our female main character, and she is a soccer player. So I do really enjoy her books. I've read her Wilmot Sisters series, and that's just 3 books. Really loved those books. Some of my favorite romances that I've read, and I just love the representation and the way that she writes love. So highly recommend Chloe Liese as an author, but this is the first one in her Brothers series, and then I'll find the second one. This is the second one, Always Only You, and she, I believe, Frankie, is the one that has sometimes it's both of her characters that have some type of disability rep or neurodivergent rep, but I don't know exactly what they are. She doesn't like blatantly say it in anything, but like she's the grumpy, he's the sunshine. I do know this is Grumpy Sunshine, but it's like reverse Grumpy Sunshine. So Love it. There's even a husky on the front. So I'm excited to start reading these. Obviously I have a bunch more to buy. I have 6 to buy technically because only one is truly mine, but I am excited to get into that series. And I think it is 5 brothers, 2 sisters. So it's the Bergman Brothers series, but there are 2 books that are actually the sisters, I believe. I know at least one is. I think 2 of them are though, so don't hold me to that though. All right, so some books I bought that are part of series that I'm reading. A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. This is the second in the Sacred Stones trilogy. So that is, the first one is A Dawn of Onyx. So I can't really talk about too much about what this book is about, but A Dawn of Onyx is about a woman who is taken to the Onyx Kingdom because she has these like superior healing abilities and gets kidnapped and taken to this kingdom to be used for the Onyx King's as the Onyx King's like healer. So that's in a nutshell what it is. There's a war going on between all of the kind of kingdoms within this world, and they're all named after a precious gemstone. So really enjoyed the first one. Looking forward to reading this one. It is on my TBR for the month of June, so we'll see if I get to it. But I love a trilogy. It's nice, quick, snappy, easy, and these books aren't too long, and it's complete. So also want to get going on that. A series that is not complete. This is the second book in Krista and Becca Ritchie's Webs We Weave series. So the first one was Dishonestly Yours. This is Destructively Mine. This is about 2 con artist families who work together to, you know, con people into money. And the 2 daughters, one from each family, are like best friends. And in the first book, they're trying to get away from their family. And the brother of one of the sisters, who always plays like the significant other for the friend, comes with them under the guise that he just doesn't want them to be like, you know, in a bad situation. He wants to make sure they're safe and all of that, but really, you know, it's a romance. So, but it was a very interesting romance because they are like bad people and you don't want to be cheering them on, but I'm still cheering them on. But the best friends are like really truly trying to get away from that type of a lifestyle and start afresh and start new and in like down a good path in life. And their families are just trying to pull them back into it. So we'll see where this one goes, but. And another series is the King of Sin series by Anna Huang. This is King of Envy. I do not know too much about this couple because I'm not at this book yet, but I think it might be a marriage of convenience. We'll see. I've heard wonderful things about this book. A lot of people aren't a huge fan of this series, but every person that has read this book so far that I've seen has loved it, so I got to get to it. I have 2 more books to read before this because I'm on book 3 right now. I also picked up Julie Soto's newest book, which is a YA thriller. And again, have heard nothing but fantastic reviews about this. But the Thrashers are an elite friend group at this high school. And this one girl dies. And she just desperately wanted to be part of this group. And she ends up dying. And the whispers about this group, the Thrashers, begin. As her journal surfaces, detectives close in. And our main character, Jodie, faces an impossible choice. Betray her friends or protect herself. So I've heard this is like Pretty Little Liars, Mean Girls-esque. Like if Mean Girls maybe was a thriller? I don't know. But again, I've heard nothing but good things about people that have read this. And the girl that dies is named Emily. So why would I not want to read a book about somebody with my name? Unfortunately, she apparently is killed, but whatever. We'll see. Or is she? The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, another YA I picked up. I think this has been like compared to like The Bachelor, but in Regency fantasy world, where I think these girls can get a bargain with the Rose Queen. Is that what she is? Oh, there's like a queen that they can bargain with, and then they like have to give something up in order to make themselves more desirable for marriage. And this is the first year the queen's son is going to be eligible for to find a life partner or a wife, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I said life partner. So she's trying to see, like, I guess, what these women are willing to give up to have a chance at marrying her son, the prince. That was probably a terrible explanation, but that's all I really know, and I don't want to look too into it. I've heard wonderful things. Okay, this is a fairy world, too. I've heard wonderful things about this, and when, like, Ava Reed, Shelby Mahern, and Carrie Maniscalco are the 3 people in the back talking about it, Stephanie Garber on the front, I don't know why I haven't read that yet. Maybe I'll pick it up this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Another series I picked up a book for is the final book in the original Mistborn trilogy, The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, and this is also on my June TBR. I can't talk about what this book's about because if you haven't read the first 2, it would be a spoiler, but Brandon Sanderson has a very unique Cosmere. I've only read a few books out of it, and they've had similar but kind of different magic systems, where this one is all based off of like metals, and mistings and mistborns can like use these metals and it gives them certain powers. The Emerald Sea, Trust of the Emerald Sea, it was like spores, but it was like something to do with like the spores caused the magic. I can't exactly remember what that one was. That was a standalone, but very unique magic systems in his world. We're following Vin, who is a Mistborn, and Elend, who is this like, I don't know how to describe, like intellectual that is in, again, the courting season in this world, and that's where we meet him in the first book. And he kind of has no desire to have anything to do with these balls and everything that are being thrown. He wants to read and learn all the things he can learn. And we're following them throughout these 3 books. And that's all really I'm going to say about it, because I pretty much went into these books blind. And I think that that's how you should go into them. Because if you have expectations, I don't know how that would sway how you're reading it. But just go in knowing that's a very unique, fun fantasy world. And the characters are lovable. The story is very fast-paced and interesting, and I've loved it so far. Can't wait to finish this one up in June. It will take me a while to get through this, but I'm sad that it'll be over, because I have a feeling it's gonna not. I don't trust him to give me happily ever after, so I feel like I'm gonna be sad, but at the same time I think I'm gonna really love it. So like when Ron in Harry Potter, so you're gonna suffer but you're gonna be happy about it. That's how I feel. Another one that will probably cause suffering and pain, The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This is her newest book. It's a standalone that takes place in the same universe as Magnolia Parks, but completely separate from it. I think they said that this character is mentioned maybe once in that book. In one of the books, if I remember correctly. We're following Georgia. And it's just like a messy Southern family in America. I don't know why I needed to say Southern in America, but it is. And Georgia comes home because I think her father has passed away. Yes, her father dies suddenly. She returns for the funeral, and she comes face to face with her brother's AA sponsor, and I think there's a romance between them, but I believe it's very messy, very emotional. That's how Jessa writes. I just read Never by her, which not a lot of people really liked. I enjoyed the story, and I don't understand how people that love BJ and Magnolia didn't like that book, because I had flashbacks to dealing with them in the first book of Magnolia Parks, but I'm excited for this. Everyone I've seen has rated it 5 stars. I do not think I've heard a bad thing about this book yet. So another one I am very excited to read, but also like have to be in the right mood, because I do not want to put myself into depression reading this one. There's another one in here that's gonna say the same thing. Then we have the book that everybody is talking about, The Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. It is her fantasy debut. I have no idea what this book is about, and I'm not going to read the flap. I just want to read it and find out as I'm reading it. But I've heard, again, wonderful things about this. It's a little more split. I think that some people love it. Some people love it, and then some people are like, it was okay. So very excited for it. It's a gorgeous book. I wanted to buy it while it was still these like special little sprayed edge edition, and yeah, looking forward to a fun new fantasy read. Along with that book, I bought Guild, which is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. By Raven Kennedy. This is a King Midas retelling. The first book's very small, but I think they get much larger as you go along. I needed a book. This is why I bought this book, because I wasn't going to buy the series until I started reading it on Kindle and decided if I liked it or not. But when I went to buy Shield of Sparrows, Target was having a buy one get one 50% off sale. So I had to buy a book that would be 50% off, but 50% off of that plus the full price of the other book still equal to $35, so that I got free shipping. So I picked up this one. That's all I'm going to say about it. I've heard you love this or you hate it, which is why I was a little concerned to buy it, but I think I'll like it. I hope I will. If not, I've only bought one so far, so I can always put it on my Pango. I also have Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This was the special edition that just came out for it for 10 year? I don't actually know what year this was published, if I'm going to be completely honest. 2018, so not even that much. It is signed. That I did get to meet them the day before this came out. That's when Chloe was moderating that event, so that's how we saw her again this month too. And I've never read this book. And it was a little bit spoiled for me because they assumed everybody there read it. I went with my sister because she really wanted to go. But the book is gorgeous. I've been wanting to read that book for years. So, oh well. Now I have a really pretty version to read. I don't know if you can see that. It says, favorite word you, which I guess is a big thing in the book. And it just has like a bunch, the end papers have like a bunch of words. The back doesn't have anything, but then the back cover says limerence. There's no other word like it. The state of being infatuated with another person, which is also, I think, one of their tattoos. I don't remember. One of them has a tattoo, I think, that says that they were talking about. There's also fun. We got little tattoos and character art, which makes me really want to read this book. So I'll get to it probably this summer because it's a fun romance. No, I don't think it's fun. It's a romance. I think it's a very sad romance or very emotional romance, but I will still try to get to it in the summer. I think it is childhood friends again to lovers in some capacity, or like second chance romance. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it is a lot of people's favorite Christina Lauren book. It was, however, not my sister's favorite, and she is a huge fan of them. So that was interesting to me, but I think The Paradise Problem was her favorite, as well as The Soulmate Equation, I want to say, is another one of her favorites. I'll just give you her book recommendations as well, I guess, at this point. My Fairy Loot, I want to say this was the romantasy for this month, is Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. Do I know what this is about? I don't. So our main character, Lyra, has been trying to like avoid the attention of the king until his silent but irresistibly handsome soldier invades her village and uncovers her secret that she's a melder. So she's forced to reveal her ability and immediately claimed by the king to be his next melder. Now the captive of this brooding soldier, she must find a way to escape. But could he be the key to her freedom himself? What neither of them realizes is the dangerous truth lies beneath everything. Together they will have the chance to stand against all they know or face a darker destiny. So this is the like Fairy Loot cover. The back says, you never truly know a heart until you see the darkness inside. I might like to see yours. Then there's the original cover. I think this is the same colorway. I don't actually know what the original colorway was. And then the naked hardcover edges, and then character art on the end papers. Stunning book. It's purple, and I love purple. Again, I read all of these before I decide to get the book, but then by the time I get them, like 2 months later, after I find out what book it's going to be and I get it 2 months later, I sometimes forget. A simple one I can talk about is another one that I went to a book release for, and that is The Night and the Moth. This was the Fairy Loot Fantasy for May. We went and met Rachel Gillig. I actually have another copy of The Night and the Moth. I had 3 copies to begin with because I pre-ordered Barnes & Noble's, had to order one to be able to go meet her the day that it released, and it's signed. It's just a standard copy. It's signed. So I have the Barnes & Noble special edition my sister took that we got signed, and then I have this one, and it is absolutely stunning. This is about a girl who is a diviner, and her fellow sister diviners end up starting to go missing, so she has to put her trust in Rory, I think we call him, who is a knight, and he's like doesn't believe in religion, which is like obviously her whole being and everything, her diviner religion or whatever you want to call it. So he has to help her escape into the world and find these girls because she's never been like outside of the cathedral and everything that they live in. So absolutely stunning book. Rachel was so fun, so humble, hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. I think it is funny though that this is the cover that they gave us, which is like the pink writing, which was the Target special edition cover, because I actually said I didn't like the pink on the cover, and when I got this and saw that, I was like, oh, well, I'll just leave the I'll just leave the dust jacket on the other way. But I'm so excited to read this, and I've again heard nothing but great things about it. There's also a gargoyle in here that is like already gonna be my favorite, I know, because he opens the book. I read like the first page when we were sitting there, literally just the first page, and it's him like yelling at a fly. And I think it was hilarious. I know that sounds really dumb, but the way that it was written was funny, and he's like the comic relief, and he cries apparently when you yell at him, and I'm just so excited for the little guy. Oh boy, okay. So my Afterlight book for the month was Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. I will not be reading this probably until winter because it is a like snow resort, Jesus. Ski resort, I think. Remote Alaska cabin. Okay, so it's a writing retreat. Okay, maybe it's not winter, like wintery then if it's in Alaska. I don't think it snows all year there, but still. But this is Enemies to Lovers. She's a popular romance author that doesn't believe in happily ever afters, not for herself, not for her readers, not for her characters. So a super fan leaks this to the world. She is dropped faster than you can say enemies to lovers. Her sister thinks she needs a change of scene and sends her off to a remote Alaskan cabin on a writing retreat that could be the perfect chance to say goodbye to rom-coms and write something new. Maybe swap meet cutes for murder mysteries. But then she meets the handsome owner, Forrest. She's a city girl. He's a lumberjack. Of course he is. He's grumpy. Wait, is she the sunshine? Oh no. At least there's no forced proximity. But that's no storm heading straight for the cabin. So it's just a bunch of tropes, I guess, that are all thrown together to help her believe in love. I don't know. Looks cute. The character art is adorable. The book's really cute too, like a little reindeer and an avocado, weirdly. So this will be a fun, cute, I probably won't read this till the winter, like I said, but kind of weird that it was like their May book starting the beginning of summer and it's wintry themed, but whatever. If you want to know anything more about these books, you can ask me in the comments, but I honestly don't look too much into them anymore. I look enough when I purchase these ones or decide to let the subscription renew that I know I'm probably going to read it. But other than that, I just like to go to my books blind anymore because I think if I expect too much, I'm not sure that I will be as happy. Then I got A Curse Carved in Bone from Book of the Month, and this is the second and final book in the saga of the Unfated. The first book was A Fate Inked in Blood. And I did read that. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to reading this. This is on my TBR again for June, so hopefully this will get read at least so I can finish this one up. And this is about Freya, who is our main character. She has this like goddess power. She is taken by this guy to be to basically force marry him and be his second wife, and then ends up falling in love with the son, and then puts him in a weird place because like she doesn't agree with his dad, and he's like not really sure what he believes in, but he's trying to defend his father, all that kind of stuff. So weird little love triangle, if you want to call it that, but it was a very interesting read. Viking lore, obviously, and yeah, excited to see how it ends. Again, a duology. A duology is even better than a trilogy because it's only 2 books. And The Night and the Moth is also going to be a duology. There's going to be one more book in that as well. She said she'll only ever write duologies. I saw that on like an Instagram story she did one time where she was answering questions. And then I asked that question. We could like write down questions to ask Rachel when we were there, and they picked some of them and asked them, and mine was one of them. And it said that you've said before you'll only ever write a duology. Is there a reason for that? And do you ever see yourself writing like a standalone or something longer now? Like times have changed. And she said, she called me out for remembering, like for quoting her directly. But other than that, she said like she could, but she doesn't like to read long series personally. So that's why she just doesn't see herself writing one. But she would like to write a standalone someday. So maybe we'll see that. And next, another book I've seen all over Book Talk, BookTube, everywhere, with more mixed reviews, I would say, than Shield of Sparrows. This is supposed to be dystopian. I've heard some people say it's not dystopian. I'm not going to be that judgmental, but this is Silver Elite by Dani Francis. Nobody knows who Dani Francis is. That is the other big thing that's going around. I don't really care who she is, but dystopian romance. Don't know too much about it. I had heard people talk about it when they were just reading the arcs, and it sounded interesting, and it was a Book of the Month option, and they did a special edition with sprayed edges, so picked it up. Excited to read it at some point, and I will make my own opinion of it, as I usually do. I don't like to let bad opinions of books sway me. A good review will get me to purchase a book, but if I start hearing people flip on it, I'm still going to read the book. We're getting there, guys. We only got 6 left. Another fairy loot. This was the YA book, The Floating World by Axio. Again, I do not remember what this is much of what this is about. I really actually don't even know that I read the synopsis on this. I just saw that everybody was really excited for it, and I've heard a lot of good things about Axio. So I think it says it's about an ex-soldier hunting down the girl who wields Silver Light. And Ren is a spirited acrobat traveling with her family, but But everything changes when they are attacked by a demon. Desperate, Ren releases a blast of silver light and kills the monster, but cannot save her beloved uncle. Determined to save him from succumbing to the poison wound, she sets off for the mountains where the creature came from, which happens to be where she herself fled from 10 years ago. Her path collides with Sunho, who is the soldier, and he doesn't realize who she is. As they get closer, it becomes clear their pasts and destinies are more intertwined than they could possibly have imagined. So, gorgeous, stunning book. There's like, I don't know, mountains and stuff there. And paper art, or that was the character art there. And then him and her, yeah. Back, sprayed edges. Stunning book. We'll see. I also picked up Ashley Flowers' The Missing Half, which is her newest book. She is the founder, producer of Crime Junkie, the podcast, which I was obsessed with for a while. I still listen to it every now and again, but I've been on an audiobook kick more than a podcast kick. And she wrote All Good People Here was her first, like, mystery thriller, and I really did enjoy that. Actually, the end made me want to throw the book across the room, because I turned the page and was like, that cannot be it. But it was a very interesting read, very fast-paced, and this one, haven't heard really anybody talk about it yet, and it's very short. It's like 250 pages long. Don't even know what it's about. I literally just bought it because it was hers. All I'm going to read, because I don't want to ruin a thriller for myself, is two women haunted by their sister's unsolved disappearances band together in this captivating mystery. That's all we're going to read. And then my boy Jeremy released his memoir, My Next Breath. I'm very disappointed at the fact that this thing is teeny tiny and the man almost died. But that makes me love him even more that he's that concise about telling his story. So, he's an actor, for those of you who don't know who Jeremy Renner is. He actually spends a lot of time in my hometown because he films, what is it, The Mayor of East something? I don't know. He films the TV show that he's in here. I also picked up Phantasma and Enchantra. Again, these were books that I was going to wait to read on Kindle Unlimited and decide if I liked them and then possibly buy these special editions, but they were buy one, get one half off at Barnes & Noble the other day when I was there, and that will always get me every time. And we are going to Romance Con in Milwaukee in September, and Kaylee is going to be there, so I figured I would pick them up, try to read them beforehand, and then get these signed if we do get the chance to meet her when we're there. So that is what I'm telling myself. Do I know what these are about? No. I've heard Dark Caravel, and I loved Caravel, so that's all you gotta tell me. Or Adult Caravel, I guess, because those were YA and very tame. Another book that's probably not tame that I picked up that I went back and forth on, but it was the last one with the sprayed edges at the Barnes & Noble we were at, and I was afraid if I waited too long, and I would have to get the standard edition. So I bought A Kiss at the Basilisk. All I know is that there's this girl that enters this competition to win the prince's heart, and the basilisk is teaching her the art of seduction. And I assume it's a basilisk that can also be a human. I'm hoping. If not, my sister's gonna get this book. So that's all I know about it. I don't really think I'm gonna read much more into it, to be completely honest. So we shall see. Oh wait, no, sorry, I just got 3 more books today. I thought I was almost done. Books that I just got that came out this week. Claiming, nope. Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This is the 6th book in the Boys of Tommen series. I've seen people sobbing their eyes out over this, so pray for me. This is Huey and Lizzie's first book. I don't know if they're going to get 2, because this thing is a chonker, but we'll see. I have adored all of the books in the Boys of Tommen series, but I don't like Lizzie as a character right now. I believe that will probably change after this based on some people's reactions I've been seeing. And right now it's not on KU. So I don't know if I want to wait till it's on KU to read it, but it is on my TBR for June. So if it doesn't come out that quickly, I'm going to have to just read it physically anyway, but it's huge. At least it's floppy. It'll be easy to read, but I'm scared. And my girl, Miss Allie Hazelwood, released Problematic Summer Romance, which is I think it's an age gap. So she's 23, he's 38. That's a bit of an age gap. Wow. Okay. Maya is 23 in the process of figuring out her life. Connor is 38 and Maya cannot stop thinking about him. It's such a cliche. It almost makes her heart implode. Older man, younger woman, successful biotech guy, and struggling grad student, brother's best friend, and the girl he never knew existed. As Connor loves to remind her, the power dynamic is too imbalanced. Any relationship between them would be problematic in too many ways to count, and Maya should just get over him. After all, he has made it clear he wants her gone from his life, but not everything is as it seems, and cliches sometimes become plot twists. When Maya's brother decides to get married in, oh wow, okay, no idea how to say that. She and Connor end up stuck together in a romantic Sicilian villa for over a week. There on the beautiful Ionian coast, between ancient ruins and delicious foods and natural caves, Maya realizes that Connor might be hiding something from her. And as the destination wedding begins to erupt out of control, she decides that a summer fling might be what she needs, even if it's a problematic one. Again, I have heard nothing but good things about this. Allie Hazelwood is she's my auto-buy author #1. Like, I will buy anything this woman writes, and I will read it and love it. And I am caught up on everything except this book now. And Mate is already pre-ordered, because your girl can do no wrong. And now the final book, Stephen King's newest release, Never Flinch. I do know that this is another Holly Gibney book. Do I know anything else about it? No. So this has intertwining storylines, one about a killer on a diabolical revenge mission, and another about a vigilante targeting a feminist celebrity speaker, featuring the beloved Holly Gibney and a dynamic new cast of characters. That's all I'm going to read, because again, I don't go into his books knowing a lot, and I like that. So when will I read it? No clue. But again, another auto-buy author. I'm working my way through his backlist, but any new books that come out by him, I do automatically buy and try to read as soon as possible so that they don't just get added to his massive backlist. Okay, so let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones you want to see me read. I read most of my books, if not all of my books, in a vlog, so don't worry about that. But which ones should I get to quicker, sooner rather than later, I guess we should say. And yeah, I'm sorry that I have a book buying problem, but again, I'm not really sorry. So thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, again, let me know which books you want to see me read, maybe in a vlog coming up soon. Any that you've read, what your thoughts are on them, what you have on your TBR, just let me know. And I hope to see you all in the next video.